Ready? You doing this? My name is Brandon Weatherby and I produce You, Me, Them, Everybody and... Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm Sam Gordon.
Hi, I'm Rebecca with Betta Promotions.
What you're about to see is a short film about 19 of your favorite Chicago music blogs.
The Betta Promotion Loud Loop Press presents
The December 18th show at Subterranean entitled
Beats and Blogs, a musical hotspot.
where we'll be celebrating the best of the Chicago music scene
Featuring 19 of your favorite
or soon-to-be favorite
Chicago music blogs.
Beats and Bloggers, or blogs, I don't know. It doesn't make sense because there's no beats on the show. It's all a bunch of rock and roll bands, so figure that out, people. Base your opinion on this quite delightful short film.
I'm Sean Campbell. I'm the president and founder of chirpradio.org.
My name is Matt Barron. I'm with Coach House Sounds.
Hi, I'm Ben Vegas here from Secret Note.
Hi, I'm Amy Dittmeyer. I'm from HeaveMedia.com.
My name is Brandon Weatherby and I produce the You, Me, Them, Everybody podcast.
My name's Brendan Loesch. I run the music blog Count Me Out.
I'm Sam Gordon from Remusic.com.
My name is Brendan Shanley, and I'm with LostInConcert.com.
I'm Richard Giraldi. I'm the editor, founder of LoudLoopPress.com.
Frank Krolicki. I'm the founder and editor of WindyCityRock.net.
I'm Kyle Obriat. I am the founder and one of the camera guys and editor for Giant System.
Chirp Radio is a live radio station based here in Chicago. So I started Chirp Radio because Chicago is the biggest city in the country that actually didn't have a true community radio station where anybody who had an interest in radio, whether it was great music or local news or issues, could participate.
So we originally started as something to try and wrangle in bands that are on tour, but shifted into trying to document mostly bands on the Chicago music scene of all different genres.
Typical publications that are out there really communicate with a lot of words or small image galleries, and we wanted to do something more visual, more capturing of the the attitude, the mood, the feeling that was in the air at the show, and help people relive that.
We cover everything related to the Chicago indie rock scene. We do show reviews, show previews, interviews, record reviews, basically everything.
We shoot bands live in their practice space, and I do it because I'm trying to replicate that stoke I got from listening to like the first records that I got my hands on that I really cared about, and seeing shows for the first time and getting really tingly and amped on it.
I feel that Chicago has such a thriving music scene and such a huge music scene that it's sometimes hard to know where to start looking. And I figured, well, we probably don't cover it all. I think that what we try to do is at least help people start to figure out where to look.
The podcasts have been going for a few years now, and all I feature are bands I enjoy. Luckily, there's no shortage of that in Chicago. I like to think of everything in terms of music as pre-Bo Diddley and post-Bo Diddley, and you could trace everything back to Bo Diddley. And Bo Diddley did a lot of great stuff here.
Basically, I run my music blog Count Me Out because I'm a musician myself, and I enjoy finding new music and basically just sharing new music that I find to my audience and hope that they check it out.
We definitely saw that there was a vacuum for as far as live filming, which you do see a lot of reviews of CDs and things like that, but you don't so much get the experience of what they actually look like or how exciting they are. You can see it in reviews, but it's a much different thing to be able to see it live. On the moment, while you're sitting there in your living room or playing with your laptop, you're going to be able to see exactly what's happening at that exact moment. And then afterwards, we will have a full show review that gets a little bit more in detail. We'll try to throw some big words at you that, make you feel all good and warm inside.
I'm an editor and I'm also the musician liaison, which sounds really complicated, but really I just do all our PR, I book all our shows, and I do a lot of the music features and interviews on the website. There are so many websites in Chicago, let alone like the US, but none of them are really focusing on their roots. So like we always do national music and we always focus on music that we like, not music that's popular.
I run Remusic because I know far too many talented musicians that are in need of listeners and far too many music fans that feel like their music collection is completely stale. In my experience, I spend way too much time reading music blogs that tweak and pick and pluck at things that I completely disagree with. And then I find out that they tell me I should hate an album and I end up loving it. So with Remusic, the goal is to let musicians speak for themselves and then give impartial narrations to records instead of complete critiques and complete insultations about what everything is.
We really do it because, like a lot of other people, it's what we love to do. It really just started because we wanted to be able to document those moments. It's definitely not a full-time job for us, although it feels like one. A lot of us are trained graphic designers and web designers that were able to apply those skills to help make the imagery and the layout of the site better.
We all basically just do it because we like meeting bands and we like hearing bands live, and I've noticed for sure that my attendance at live shows has decreased since recording Coach House bands because we get to see so many great live shows.
I started the site because I was discovering all this amazing music that I would say, oh, what else are people saying about this?
It's kind of like myself and the band are making something together, kind of the same way that a band and an audience member makes something together, or a 15-year-old kid and a CD makes something together. It's kind of, I guess that's what's mostly influential to what it is that we all put out there, the 4 guys I work with.
And I do the podcast because I don't think a lot of people realize what's going on. Punk Planet used to have a great motto, which was us versus them. And now with all of these blogs, it just feels like the us is a lot more powerful than before. And that's really all it is. We're trying to set up a network, a social network, some might say, that doesn't suck and isn't awful. And that's about it. It's very, very, very basic. And one of the nice things about the blogs, though they're not raking in a bunch of dough, is they're only featuring what they like. And there's some weird integrity issues with that. And it feels very nice. And that's the goal.
I started Count Me Out about 3 years ago with the intention of possibly having it as a career. Basically, it is my job right now. Don't make any money doing it, but it's my passion, and I figure just keep it going, and maybe someday something will happen. And I have readers, so just try to please them.
Started up the site in hopes that, besides, just for my own entertainment and the fact that I was going to the shows anyway, I really just wanted to use it as an opportunity to try to build back up in the music business on my own terms and not necessarily have to be at a job every single day, but be able to get it back on my own.
Really, I started because I went to school for film criticism and there was nothing for someone who's not a 40-year-old male to do in the Chicago scene about film. So I started at Heave, and I was playing music, I was making music, writing music, I was dating musicians, friends with musicians, doing all that stuff. And I just kind of went in head first, and I'm loving every minute of it.
We open people's eyes to bands that they normally wouldn't check out. Maybe there's an act that you've never heard of playing a show that maybe you should go see them, even if you don't know who they are. There's great clubs, it's a great music scene, and so we just want to spread the word a little bit.
We're in an age where we have so much access, and it's astounding to me that I can talk to someone about a band and find out that they've never heard of them, even on the internet. So Revusic is here to sort of bridge that gap and bring everybody together.
The great thing about the music scene here is that it's so collaborative. We've got so much going on and so many different styles, but people aren't competitive. They really work together. So you'll have these bills that will really mix genres, and sometimes you'll have bands that will come out and collaborate together that you never would have expected. But I really like the vibe here. It's really positive. We have this great creative community here that works together even though it can be wildly divergent, and the outcomes are really amazing.